Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Angela.
And today we are celebrating the finale of Game of Thrones with Sansa's favorite lemon cakes. So we found a recipe from the 16th century called the Good Housewife.
So that's what we are using as the base of the recipe. In Game of Thrones, things like lemons and spices are going to be imported from Dorne. Dorne's the Game of Thrones equivalent to Spain. So we thought it'd be really fun to add some Spanish influence into the lemon cake. George R.R. Martin explains the lemon cakes in detail. Says they're rose-shaped, they've got sugar sprinkled on top.
And above all else, decadent. So without further ado, we bring you our recipe for Sansa's lemon cakes.
We're going to be making a dough and a filling, but we want to make the filling first. So here are the ingredients we'll need. For the filling, we're going to use 1 large egg at room temperature, a large lemon, cleaned, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, we're using our homemade version, 4 tablespoons of butter, also at room temperature, and 1/2 cup of ground almond.
For the dough, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of butter at room temperature. We're also going to do a 1/2 cup of sugar, plus a little extra for dusting. We're going to do 3 egg yolks at room temperature, a large lemon, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves and nutmeg, a pinch of saffron, and 1 3/4 cup flour, plus a little extra for dusting as well. So for the filling, we're going to need to make a double boiler. We just are going to take a pot with a heat-proof bowl on top of it. We just made sure that the water wasn't touching the bowl because the steam is meant to cook it. So here we go. It's hot. Okay.
So you're going to beat the egg. We're going to add in the juice of a lemon and the zest of a lemon.
And then we're going to add the vanilla, which we're very excited about.
Yeah.
We made this vanilla, and we're going to show you how to make it in another video. So be sure to watch that.
If you're using store-bought vanilla, that's fine too. Just make sure it's 100% pure. And then lastly, we're going to add in the sugar.
Smells so good. Were you a kid and tried to taste it? You're like, oh, this smells delicious. And then you taste it and you're like, well, no, it's not a cookie yet. I've had those times.
So we're gonna switch from the whisk over to a wooden spoon, and we're gonna put this onto the double boiler.
Cool. We're gonna do that because we don't want to aerate it too much. If we whip it, it'll be bad.
We're gonna add in our butter.
Doop. All right, so this part's probably gonna take you about 15 to maybe 20 minutes, depending on how soft your butter is, what your climate is, where you live. So finally, it's starting to get thicker. It's like a thin pudding, and it's sticking to my wooden spoon, and it's sticking to the bowl, so we're cooking. This does take a little bit of time, and it does require constant stirring. Otherwise, you're just gonna get an omelet. So this looks about done, so we are gonna take it off the heat.
Now, with the wooden spoon still, we're gonna mix in the ground almonds. You're definitely gonna wanna use roasted almonds for this. We just bought whole roasted almonds at the grocery store, put them in a food processor.
As it cools, which you're gonna let it cool for a couple of minutes before you put it in the fridge, it's gonna start firming up. So we're gonna put this to the side. But can we taste it? I want to taste it.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. And then don't burn your... You said that like 8 times already.
Warnings.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, yes.
Every time. So the next step is we're going to make the dough.
We're going to preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit while we start putting everything together. We're going to cream the butter and 1/2 of our sugar first in a stand mixer with the whisk attachment.
So you're gonna know that the butter and the sugar is creamed together when they start to get a little bit lighter in color. We're gonna add it. I like this part because, I don't know, eggs do crazy things when you whip them.
Now we're also gonna wanna add the juice of just 1/2 of a lemon along with our vanilla.
This smells really lovely as well.
Next we're gonna be adding in our baking soda, salt, cloves, nutmeg.
It'll puff up and curdle a little bit, just because lemon and baking soda don't necessarily get along, but it's okay. Calm down, because your mixture will. We're gonna just add a little bit of the sugar back into there, and it'll chill it out.
Yep.
Now we're gonna use our magical ingredient that we found at our very own Reading terminal. We wrote a blog post about it, so be sure to check that one out.
We're gonna just use a little pinch. It's gonna be kind of like a scant quarter teaspoon.
But you definitely don't need this ingredient. You're not gonna use it ever again. Maybe you can skip on this one because the cloves, the nutmeg, that's gonna still add some of that warmth that they had back in the day. Okay, so now we're gonna add our flour in. It's just gonna be small amounts of flour so that it gets mixed in a little bit easier. However, before we do that, we are gonna change our attachment, and that's because this guy is gonna collect all of the dough in the center of it. So switch your paddle out. So we forgot to add our lemon rind, but it's still in the wet ingredients, so it's fine. We're gonna slowly start to add in our flour. Depending on where you live and depending on whether it's rainy or not, your dough is gonna react differently. So you may need a little less or a little bit more flour.
So we're gonna put this down on a floured surface.
If I can undo this. There we go, nailed it. We have our dough ball. Boop.
We're gonna wanna knead it into the flour.
It's gonna feel like Play-Doh. You'll be able to feel it, like, can I roll this out? And then we're gonna roll it out.
Once you have it pretty even at your roughly 1/4 inch thickness, you're gonna get just a standard water glass, and we're gonna use that kind of as a cookie cutter.
You're gonna wanna strategically place your cup so you can get as many out of your dough as you can. How we're gonna make our beautiful flowers is we're gonna take one of our dough circles. So you're gonna wanna trace an X right in the center. We're gonna cut about a 1/4 inch in, about halfway in from the circle, so that we can put our filling in the center.
So we're gonna take just like a dollop, put it in the middle.
So this is the kind of like finesse, but honestly, it's not difficult. It's just, pay attention. So you're gonna take one of your petals and then you're gonna pull it downward, but you don't want the inside to squirt out. You're gonna take the other petal and kind of squish that down and keep a little guard up. And then you're gonna fold that over and pull it down. Bada bing, bada boom.
So we're gonna put these on a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. Bake them for about 15 to 17 minutes. Keep an eye on them.
So the lemon cakes are complete. The house smells gorgeous. It's filled with lemony, vanilla-y deliciousness. So now's our favorite part. We're gonna taste them. It smells so good. So good. So excited for Game of Thrones to come out tonight. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed watching. A good mouth is a mouth that tastes like coffee. I hate my name. Okay.
There was a moment.
Okay.
A nice
Lower than a
smell.
Toll House cookie, but
Yeah.
like that's something people say.
You want a nice clean crack.
Okay. Starting again.